In saying that, we can cut out some of those additional pieces of equipment that are listed but are not shown in the photographs. So, for example, the bouncy mushroom, he's saying we can... I don't know what they're like, but he's saying 2 of those. The flying bass cock spin, the caterpillar counter and the cuckoo clock. I mean, if you look at the price of those, it's 2,567. So what we can do is scale down the quote so that it coincides with the amount of money that's available, so we're not spending any additional money from the reserves.
With more building taking place within the village, Councillor, excuse me, Mr. Chair, Councillor, have you got today's update on how much Section 106? Because last time Ian had an update as of today. He was here.
Well, the amount I had, which is the same listing that Councillor Dalgarno had, was 15,852.78 in recreation stroke open space. But some of that may have been already committed. The only criterion you have is that you have to apply to spend the 106 money before you order the equipment, so you can't sort of borrow against future 106.
The quote that we've got, the amount of money that's available, 14,486, was given to us by Lisa White.
Yeah,
3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago. So some of that's obviously been further committed.
So if we take 14,486 as the figure, if we put in an application this week, the decision is: are you in general approval of his recommendations? And if so, do we want to slightly reduce the estimate so that we don't have to put in any money from our reserves?
Mr. Chair,
Councillor West.
As well as doing the Section 106, okay, there's a thing called the lottery fund. Can we not put in for the full amount for the Section 106, still go for the full amount here, and then go see if we can get some money for the lottery to, and therefore it's what we call match funded? Because when you do a lottery grant, you have to have match funding.
Councillor West.
Does Councillor West not realise how long that takes to put in an application?
I think it would overcomplicate the whole process. It's very straightforward, isn't it? We've got that amount of money. We either spend slightly more and put in a bit, or we spend exactly what we're going to get.
Spend slightly more and put in a bit.
What do councillors think? There's 7 of us here, 8 of us here now. Councillor White?
I'd suggest dropping the 3-number play panels. I haven't actually seen them, but I'm just wondering how robust they are, considering the potential vandalism, because it isn't a secure area.
Yeah, I mean,
that's an awful lot of money for something that, without seeing it, could potentially be destroyed quite rapidly.
Just picking up. Why don't we go back to Derek and just say the budget's 14,486?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's the best thing to do. Just tell him what we've got and say, let's scale it down to that amount.
Okay.
That's easier, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're all in agreement with that? Yeah. Right, street lights. To consider whether an approach to Central Bedfordshire Council Central Bedfordshire Council to adopt the parish lights in Arlesey. Is this a proposal of Councillor Holloway? And Councillor Weller's going to contribute as well. You want to start off, Richard?
Well, yes, I mean, hopefully we might be have Councillor Holloway praising CBC twice in one evening.
Yes.
So CBC is currently applying for a substantial government grant to carry on its streetlight upgrading programme, and we're hopeful that we will receive well, anything up to £10 million if we're successful, and we'll know that within the next couple of months. If we get that money, then CBC will be coming out proactively to all parish councils asking whether they would like to look at having their streetlights taken over by CBC. It won't be a completely free deal. The streetlight estate will be inspected, and only those that are in either green or amber categories will be taken over straight away. If there are any that are red and require full replacement, then it will be up to the parish council to replace them first. And thereafter there will be an annual charge of, I believe, somewhere between £30 and £40, which covers ongoing maintenance, replacement and electricity. So it basically moves a capital risk from your accounts into an ongoing known revenue cost. So my suggestion to you, obviously you're free to take it a different line, is that you defer this probably for 1 or 2 months until we know the situation regarding the central funding.
Yeah, excellent, thank you. Councillor West, you wish to add to that?
Yeah, I've got 2 small points. We have some streetlights in the village are actually bolted on people's homes, so they don't actually have columns, they just have the head bolted onto their homes. Hitchin Road, for example, okay? So will Central Bed be taking on those as well if they take on the streetlights or not? Okay, is a question. And I would also like to propose what Councillor Wellham has just said about deferring it for a couple of months.
I think all councillors will be in agreement with that one. Yeah. Okay.
So I'm just to answer Councillor West's question. I've got absolutely no idea what they'll do. What will happen is that Amy, or whoever is responsible for highways at the time, will come out and do a full survey of the lights, and then they'll produce a report as to the state of the various lights. And if any can't be taken over for any reason, they'll enter into a dialogue with the parish council about it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that, Richard. 24 is the Road Traffic Regulation Act 1984. Notification from Central Beds Council of an emergency closure of part of footpath 4 in Arlesey. Footpath 4 runs from the A507 runs from the A507 to the River Ivel. To the River Ivel. Obviously at the northern end of the village.
Is that the one that goes past the allotments? I'm told yes it does.
Yeah, you are right, it does. And there's an alternative route being proposed.
He looks after them. So.
There we go.
What's it been closed for? What are they doing?
Well, I'm just going to read that to you.
It's been closed because there's cabling work going on associated with a solar farm.
Oh, yeah, that's what was coming over the bridge, wasn't it?
Yes, so that's what's been causing all sorts of delays on the 507 bridge.
Yeah, as Richard has already stated, a section of footpath 4 was dug up to allow the installation of cables along the field edge. Construction work is now complete, but the path needs to be reseeded with grass and allowed to establish before the path can be reopened. The farmers agreed to carry out this work later in the spring. In the meantime, an alternative route is shown on the closure signs, which is to the
It effectively
I would say the left, but
it effectively runs to the east.
Yeah, it's the east,
on
isn't
the
it?
other
Yeah.
field boundary side.
Yeah. Okay. Right, 25. Arlesey Town Council agendas. Proposal from Councillor Orban regarding documents available for the public at meetings. Councillor Orban.
It's really frustrating when you're sitting as a member of the public, you're going through the agenda and you say it's attached or it's in your trays, when you haven't got a clue what you're talking about. I was approached by 2 members of the public. They were asked if they could have the attachments at the meeting, which I don't see why they can't. They're not secret in any way.
No.
As long as they are confidential, then I don't see why we can't give them.
How do you propose we carry that out? By having them on a table at the far end of the hall?
Numbers, yeah. Or now we've got an admin system and create packs for the public.
What do the councillors think on that?
Mr. Chair, some meetings we get 1 or 2 members of the general public, and other meetings we get like committees.
Oh, committees, right.
No, yeah, regardless, okay, whatever, okay, some meetings we get very few people turn up, okay, And some meetings we get lots of people turn up. And also when we ask for stuff, if people contacted the office, there's no reason why they couldn't get a pack of the paperwork if they contacted the office. That way, we're not going to overproduce, we're not going to be told we're wasting money on photocopying, etc. So if people wanted it, they could contact the office by Tuesday lunchtime. Same as if they book in a slot.
So you're not in agreement?
I don't want to see tons and tons of waste, right? Because like if there's a committee, we put like 30 tonight, they're all gone. But if we're on some committees, right, if we put 30, 28 would still be sitting there.
Councillor White?
On a similar vein, I mean, that's tonight. Duplicate that how many times? It's an awful lot of paperwork. Is there a possibility of putting them on the website with the agendas as an attachment, so if anyone wants to, they can open it and print them for themselves? I know it's generating more work, but it's going to create a lot less.
Depends how it comes in, really.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the central Bedfordshire press release just comes in via email.
Okay.
Not
So-
as
And it's all coming
What I'm
together.
suggesting, you know, if there's ones on there that are sort of information-wise that need reading and need reading beforehand, nobody's going to have time to sit down and read all of this, you know, this evening while the meeting's going on. Would that appease you? I'm certainly against wasting an awful lot of paper and time and effort in producing stuff that's just going to sit on the side.
The two members of the public that asked me are in the audience tonight. And I'll say,
Well, we can suspend standing orders and ask those members of the public if they're here. Do you agree with that?
I was one, sorry.
Minus one, you're not going to contribute. Oh, I was one, sorry.
Yes,
It's
I'm
minus
sorry. Just because, sorry, I've forgotten the name. Mandy from Stockpole Council. They do it for their council meetings, and it, like Jason said, you just sit in, you just feel a bit sort of not part of it really. Even if you printed, say, 5 and we shared them.
Just leave them down on tables.
Yeah, just leave them. And if, you know, there might be some, there might be something that someone's particularly interested in and someone isn't. I just think so. We've just got an idea of going and knowing what's the attached things if we want to know.
I think if you posted them electronically, particularly as assistant clerk said, they come in by email. Post it all electronically by the Tuesday morning, and then the public can access it if they want it. Even if they're not coming to the meeting, they can know what's going on.
If it does cut and
Give some transparency.
the email, can't you?
Can you speak up a little, then they can hear you.
The things like the income and expenditure is on a system, so I would have to scan every individual page to get it onto the website. I cannot put them directly onto the website from my accounts. And I mean, that was 8 pages long.
But it's like when you're doing, you know, like the budgets and everything, the monthly budget. So line number 802 and line number 10, and we just don't really know what's going
To
on.
do that, that's easier to photocopy that than to scan
Yeah.
and put it on the website.
Just so
It's probably easier to put paper copies down at the end and say 5 copies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the councillors agree. Do you agree with that, councillor?
5 copies is good, is okay. It's not a load of paperwork, but yeah, I agree.
There's a lady over there.
I was another person who suggested it to Councillor Alden, and I suggested that even if you just have one copy of everything on a table, like you have the plans,
Yeah.
so that people could at least go and look at the start to see if there's anything that interests them.
Okay.
Even if it's just one copy, it'd be better than nothing.
Okay. Right, if we suspend standing orders on the basis of what we've heard, can someone make a proposal? Councillor Alden? Your agenda item.
which did we agree on? It's going to be 5 copies, 1 copy.
That sounds like an appropriate number, doesn't it? 5 copies. Yeah. Are we all in agreement with that? Yeah.
Thank you.
Right, thank you.
Could you also perhaps provide a copy that we can look at here?
Councillor Alden, another one for you, provision of refreshments. A bit more complicated, but proposal to Council to provide refreshments to residents before meetings.
Well, last week, obviously, when we were waiting for you, but not last week, the week before, we were waiting for you and we hadn't had a cup of tea or coffee, and it was kind of nice to get speaking to the public. I think it'd be something good to introduce at the beginning of the meeting, minimal cost. I think the public would welcome it. include them a bit more into the meeting.
Right, I think they're welcome. I'm just a bit concerned about who's going to manage it.
I'll do it.
Are you ready?
I'll do it.
Volunteering for services.
Tell Councillor Morgan to actually do it. He's very good. He's very good.
What do other councillors think to that proposal?
Yeah, well, we've got a volunteer.
We've got a volunteer.
Well, if he's happy to do it, and it's, we can do it on a trial basis, can't we? See how it goes.
What you mean, if you might allow one to have a tea?
Yeah.
Yeah. So canteen facilities starts at 6:30 now, 7:15.
Half 6 till
Half 6.
5 to 7.
Okay, so we were in agreement that we'll do that for a trial, on a trial basis with Councillor Orban spearheading it. Minutes from committees. To receive minutes from the following committees. The Environmental Committee meeting of the 17th of February. Yeah. Okay. And then the Property Committee meeting of the 17th of February. Yeah. Everyone see yeah. And the GP and Finance Committee meeting of the same day. Yep. Okay. Questions to the Chairman? Questions to the Chairman from members? Councillor Rencontre.
Yes, just one question, because I wasn't here earlier, and I do believe that there was something on the agenda concerning the village hall. If you recall, there were some questions around the kitchen and the requirements in the kitchen.
Yep.
And some unhappiness amongst the residents of the state of the kitchen. I have volunteered to look at the facilities in that kitchen, particularly around the hospitality side of things. And I'm awfully afraid that I have not had the time, I'm just too busy. But if we could propose that something stand in order so I can talk to the public, because I do believe Jane, you did actually give public participation on this particular area, and because Jane has got the skills in identifying the cleaning, would it be possible, Jane, if the council to agree, if I ask Jane to have a look at it, have a look at what needs to be done?
We can bring it as a agenda item at a future meeting, but we can't have it as a resolution during this because it's just questions to the chairman. So what you're asking is, can we have it as an agenda item to further discuss?
It was raised last June to buy new crockery and equipment, which was never, didn't happen.
No.
The town clerk at the time did not buy that equipment, and it was agreed at that council. And I just do not have the time to do a full hospitality check on that. And I do think that perhaps it would be nice to involve a member of the public to do that check-in. And because Jane has got the experience, I just thought she could do a proposal for us and a costing.
Okay. So we'll bring it up for the next available opportunity. Bring up the property. Bring it up on the property committee meeting and make a resolution from that.
Chair, there's no reason why it can't be done informally at this stage.
Informally,
it has to be formal.
Yeah, informally it can be done, but obviously not
It's
formally.
just going to take more time by. So could I just have a word with Jane?
Yeah.
Would you mind doing that?
No, that's
for
fine.
For the council.
That's absolutely fine.
Thank you very much.
Yes, I'll need to get into all the cupboards though.
Yes,
So
that's
perhaps if I can come down one day,
you can have access to
you can
that.
let me in, have a look and see what's in there. Okay.
Councillor Webb.
Mr Chair, I have two questions for you, okay, but I'm going to notify you that they should really be underneath pink paper. So you will tell me at this point in time whether or not they are under pink paper or whether or not they are open to the public. Okay? The first one, I understand that all council policies are what you call open documents ready for the council, for any member of the general public to come and inspect any time they wish to come and inspect them. Okay? So if a decision is made that makes the policy null and void, right, then should that not bring the policy back to the council?
I think you need to be a bit clearer, Councillor West.
Not very sure what you're talking about,
You're saying.
A bit cryptic.
Right, okay. The second one is, okay, I'm led to believe that we have a staff policy and that we've been arguing for months that all staff should be treated equal, and that's why I turned and said you were going to tell me whether...
Yeah, that would have to be discussed on the...
Right, okay. We passed a thing on the last week, okay, I'm going to tell you the policy it's under. The policy is under bullying and intimidation and harassment policy, okay? It quite clearly states within inside that policy that should the council be sued because of an action, let's say of me, let's say I bullied you, okay, or any of the staff, okay, that I could be, and the council got sued, then you would recover the cost from me. Okay.
Right, I think we need to discuss this confidentially because
right, that's why
it's something that it's something that could be brought up later.
Well, as long as you're aware that I have two questions for you.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions, you can? No.
Actually, I'd like to add something. I don't see the whole point and purpose of you bringing that up under questions to the chair.
There's nowhere in exempt items says questions to the chair, and I have to turn around and register a question to the chair.
But
this is the only place.
The indicator, you don't have to shout at me, Councillor West.
The
indicators are that they could have been covered under the pink paper, so I cannot understand why you have brought that up as questions to the chair.
Because they need to be. I need to ask the chair these questions, okay, and I'd like an answer.
Okay, well, I'll give them an answer, Councillor West. Yeah. Okay. Representative reports. Do we have any representative reports from outside bodies? No. Right. Right, public participation on items arising from this evening's meeting. This is something new for Arlesey Town Council that was recommended at an earlier meeting. It's carried out at other councils, and we offer the public the right to participate at the end of the meeting if they wish. Obviously the same conditions apply as before the meeting really gets underway. And I think nobody's actually asked to participate, have they?
We don't have
We're going to or not,
It's an open session, okay, right. But you could, yeah. Does anyone, Councillor Ward?
Not yet.
Mr. Andy Ward.
I just wanted to follow up on item 19A about the dog training in Village Hall. So it was mentioned and you read out a letter from another user who said they would go elsewhere if the dog training was
And so they would have to explore the possibility of going elsewhere. Yeah.
I'd just be interested to know if you can clarify how you're going to handle that, whether you're going to engage in dialogue with that lady to explain the situation and try and encourage the people to listen and to offer her reassurances.
That's really all we can do to try and pacify some of her concerns. We'd have to have a conversation with her and let her know what the council decided. She probably thinks we're going to go ahead and decide definitely. I mean, we have made a decision to do it on a trial basis. We'd have to explain that we'd have to take into consideration any comments from other users of the hall following the use of that particular session with the dogs. And take the whole expanse of comments and responses into consideration when we look at this again in a month's time.
It's my personal opinion, I think that's very important to do. I don't think the two are mutually exclusive arrangements. I think they can quite happily continue side by side. I think that should be reinforced and that message should be sent back that all customers and all residents, all community groups are welcome and involved to the council. I'm not sure that was picked up during the session.
No, it wasn't related to the public, no, but that's something that we will do. Was there another question that you had? I thought you said you had, did you say you had two or just the one? No. Just the one. Mr. Gravitt.
Yes, councillors, throughout this evening, I think starting with the gentleman, I think his name Mr. Gibson, who spoke about financial concerns,
Yeah.
there's been some sort of a number of oblique references to financial concerns and expenditure, which I understand isn't discussed in public, but it would appear by implication that there are some financial burdens that the public aren't generally aware of, and there certainly is a lot of chatter from some of those people in the village who appear to be very well informed of what goes on, who are claiming that there's a financial time bomb likely to hit the council over the next few months. I just wondered when the truth of the expenditure and this strain on the reserves that's been referred to would actually be in the accounts and available for the public to see the amounts, if not the detail.
Okay, I'll try and give a very open and an honest picture of that at the annual meeting, because I haven't got the figures on me to really give a proper answer to your question. I have alluded to some of the pressures that are on the council, or have been recently, like the cemetery works, like the roof and the village hall, like professional fees, which is something that was not foreseen when we went into the budgeted year. Obviously, that's got to be paid for, and it has to come from somewhere. So I've tried to allude to these, the main headings as to where this expenses come from, but I haven't got the actual details of figures on me. When I'll try and refer to those at the annual meeting on Monday night.
Okay, thank you. My understanding regarding the cemetery and the roof, because in the period that I was a councillor, which ended last September, those issues were discussed and accounted for.
But they still have to be paid for from reserves.
I understand they have to be paid for, but that's been in the public domain.
Yeah.
There appears to be risks to the council's finances, therefore the village's finances, that are not in the public domain, and I'm sure you're aware they're being alluded to by eminent ex-councillors, quite vociferous voices of gloom and doom. I think it would be good for the community to know whether that is factual or not.
Well, I don't think we can. I can really give you a definite answer to that at the moment, because
just I felt that such a thing was alluded to through tonight's meeting as well. So
yeah, I mean, to be quite honest, I don't know myself, and neither do the councillors. So it's something that would only become apparent over the foreseeable future.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome, Councillor Page.
Apologies for being late, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, have you got any more questions from the public? Sorry, I don't know your name.
Kathy Linscott.
Kathy Linscott, right, okay.
On the salt bins,
Yes.
I understand they said there were going to be 7 of them, and a number of residents have asked for them, and I just wondered if there's any details about how many residents asked for these 7 salt bins, and also, if there's such a demand, should there not be some sort of risk assessment for the whole village? I just wonder how many people.
Councillor West,
got 7 salt bins.
Councillor West has been involved in this project, and I don't know whether he can give you an answer.